Welcome back, guys. We're back in Run Train Simulator, and we're going to be doing a really quick video on how to edit an industry configuration in game. We're on the Fitzgerald sub. We're in Manchester, so this is a junction between the Fitz, the Lineville side, and the Manchester sub. And we're going to go edit the Georgia Pacific plant up in Durand really fast. So let's go ahead and start out by flying up there. We're going to hit F3 to go to the dispatcher screen. The closest point that we can teleport to is campground. Now we could do this on the industry list as well too. Industry configuration, right? We know it's Georgia Pacific campground, so we could transport that way. But let's just say it's an industry like you know where it's at, but you don't know what it's called, so you can just teleport on the map to a point that's closest to it. So we're going to do campground, and then we'll fly up here to it. We've got to do something with this place too, actually. This place was abandoned when I worked. It was an old pulpwood yard. There was nothing here, so we're going to get rid of that guy. We're not going to have anything there. Yeah, I kind of wish game-wise they'd left it more like the old pulpwood yard that was there. Okay, so now we're at Georgia Pacific. It's just north of campground. It's actually at a place called Durand. It's the layout is a little bit off from what it was in real life, but it's fairly close. But this little location right here, actually another set of railroad tracks crossed here. They had like a little tunnel that we went under. This is the Norfolk Southern, and this GP plant right here was dual served by the NS and CSX, at least when I hired out. By the time I left the railroad, NS had abandoned their route and it was just CSX. But this is Georgia Pacific campground in game. I want to change it to Durand just to show you guys how to do this, and we're going to do a few other things to it as well too. So first thing we want to do is we have to bring this industry configuration up, and the way you do that is by going down here and hitting left control I, and it's going to bring up your industry configuration page. And then you could do it one of two ways. If you knew the name of the place, which we already know, then you could just search in this list right here and find it and select it that way, right? Let's see, it's Georgia Pacific Campground. There you go. But let's say for tutorial purposes, you're new to the game and you have no clue what this place is called in real life. Most people aren't going to have a clue, right? So you can do search using the closest track, but it's not working, right? Nothing is coming up. So what you can do, if we escape out of this and we hit, let's see, I think it's right control L. No, never mind. Right control F8 is going to bring up the industry tags. There you go. Now you can see how the tracks are set up, right? And you can see this place is called GPC. If you fly to the end of these dots, and they're kind of hard to see sometimes, but if you fly to the end of them and you hit left control I and then do search using the closest track, there you go. It popped up. So Georgia Pacific Campground. This is the place that's served by the local freight A720, which is correct for back then. I want to change the name. Like, it's kind of nitpicky, right? Like, it's not that big of a deal, but we're going to change the name of it. So we're going to go all the way over to the end here, and we're going to change it to Durand. There we go. We're going to change the name of it to GPD, Georgia Pacific Durand. All right, that looks pretty good. Let's save it out before something happens. You never know. I'd rather save too much than not enough, right? And then lose all your work. So this place, I think they did either plywood or pressboard here. So we could ship out to a few different places. Now my tags are different. I've got my own tag system. It's based pretty much on real life or what they've used over the years, right? So we're not sending anything to Selkirk SLK. We're not going to send to Waycross itself. I have zero clue what Oro is. We'll take that out. You know what? Actually, let's just take them all out. There you go. What could we do? We could definitely send them to Atlanta. These are the box cars. So these are loaded box cars of either pressboard or plywood, whatever it was that they did there. We could send it to CHS. We could send some to Charleston. There's tons of places we could send these to, right? We could send them to Cincinnati. What else? We could send them to Knoll, New Orleans. We could do... we could go ahead and throw... well, no, I don't want to put Savannah on there because I don't know exactly where it would go past Savannah, like in Savannah or past it. Let's put Tam for Tampa. Like I said, my tags are going to be a little different. What else we got? We could do Winston. We could put that on there. Basically just off-route places. There's probably some on-route places we could send these to. I just don't know them off the top of my head, right? Miami would be a good one. We're not doing Selkirk. You've got to think, like, they got to have a producer of plywood somewhere closer to Selkirk to keep them from shipping it all the way up there. And it's probably true for a lot of these places. You don't know how far out, like, this stuff is shipped. So we got Hamlet on there. What else? That should be okay. Yeah, I think this is good enough. So that's for our box cars, right? We got our box cars in here. Let's do wood chip hoppers. Now, wood chip hoppers are kind of correct, right? They've got Ray W, which is Ray near West. It's over at Doctortown in game. So this is actually an own route industry that we could serve. So what we're going to do is we're just going to do wax A768 Ray W, just to kind of give us a little bit better idea of where this thing is going. We could comma and we could send some off route to Atlanta. Where else could we send some? We could send some maybe to Dothan. We could send it maybe to Dot. Maybe Birmingham. Double check that tag real fast. Burr, yeah, there you go. We could do maybe Augusta. I don't know, like, I'm trying to think of places that took wood chips going down into Florida. Oh, I know a big one, definitely a big one. What is that place called? Brunswick would be a good one because there's like a paper mill over there. I think they took wood chips back in the day. Yulee as well too, for the First Coast Railroad. Was CSX back in the day. Where's that tag at? Yule. Yeah, Yule would be a good one. I would probably do these over Atlanta, or definitely Dothan, maybe Birmingham. So I'd do like Brunswick, Yulee, and then Atlanta. I wish there's a way to prioritize these, right? Like, that would be cool to have a way to prioritize these, but unfortunately we can't do that. So these are loads going out, right? Yulee is definitely a good one. Palatka, I don't think they took wood chips down there, even though it would be a good one though, because it is a Georgia Pacific plant. I'm not sure how it's set up in game. What else? MTG, we could do Montgomery. That should be good enough. I'm trying to think of any other places on route that would take. I think this is the only one other than Palatka, so that's good. And then we need another track. Actually, let's go back to this one. We're about to add another track in a minute. Let's go to this one and let's hit filter. What is this guy's pretty much taking everything. Right. Yeah, it wouldn't just off the top of my head, I know that these 5347s are kind of like, I call them a slop box car, right? Like, they're just a regular old run-of-the-mill slop box. They're not plug door, they're not high cube, they're not anything like that. So I think what we took in there was mostly like high cube boxes and stuff like that. So we'll go with these. We're not going to do the SP. You didn't see a lot of off route railroads like that going in there, other than NS or CSX, right? And then leasers. So let's we're going to take that one off. We got that one's off. Take the CNW, CN, CEFX is good. Let's take the BNSF off. TTX, NS, CSX. Yeah, these are good, right? Okay, so we've got that. That's all set up. All right, so we've got our outbound tags set up. We got the industry renamed, and then it dawned on me that we're missing a track. So this place in real life, what they would do is we would take them roughly 16 cars of logs every day. Log cars. I want to say they went on this track though. I think it's flip flop. as far as how it was in real life. I think the chips were on this side and the logs were on this side. I could be wrong. It's been 20 years, but either way, we would take them 16 cars with logs. They would make their plywood or pressboard or whatever it was they were doing, and they would send out a handful of cars of wood chips. Like, this is kind of a lot. This is excessive for a day. And then so many box cars, maybe a handful of box cars. Like I said, it was, when I started originally, it was dual serve. So what happened, the NS would work the wood chip side of it. They took care of all the chips. We took care of the logs, and then the outbound box cars were split between the two railroads. So they would take a few and we would take a few. And it basically, it worked out that way. And then later on, a bridge on their line washed out and they abandoned it. And so they gave up service to GP Duran. And so we did all of it at that point. So, but either way, we're missing the log track, right? There's nothing there as far as log cars. So once again, let's do, let's see, I think it's right control. Let's see, F8. Yeah, okay. Industry tags are already on. And we need to go down here and hit left control I. Search using closest track. There we go. And what we need to do, I think this is going to work out. I've done this rarely, and I know like probably a lot of you guys have probably never touched this. So edit tracks, and then yes, okay. So we hit edit tracks. This is the track that we're wanting to add, right, for the log cars. So if we select that, there we go. They're now red, and I think we should be able to hit save and go back to edit industry, and we should be good. What we may do is reload this thing just to double check, but we could do it a completely, that's the thing, like you could set it up as a completely different industry if we wanted to, right? If we really wanted to get nitpicky about it, we could do Georgia Pacific Durand logs, and they would only load on this track, because at this point, you can put the log cars anywhere in here and they're going to unload and unload. So we're not going to get too crazy with it, but let's do bulkhead flats. Let's filter these guys. It's going to take those, the TTJX cars, close you out. And it's going to produce empties. There we go. It's producing empties. It'll do 16 in 24 hours basically. So let's do that. We'll bump it up capacity of 16. It'll take 24 hours to empty all of them. And then the outbound cars will need to go to, man, that's a good one. Probably they went somewhere north of Atlanta. I know that. I just can't remember exactly where. I want to say they went up towards Etowah that way. They maybe they went towards the Clinchfield. I'm not sure on that. So we could, just for simplicity, right? We could just do Atlanta. We could put ATL on there. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. We'll just put them ATL. It's going to be really simple for those, right? So there you go. We got that. Let's close this guy out. So yeah, there's not a lot of options as far as the flat. Like, they're pole cars. We're already having to make a concession for that too. Like, these are going to be like telephone poles coming in. It's the closest thing we've got to logs right now. Hopefully we can get the... they're kind of like a spine car. They're kind of neat. They're Georgia Pacific cars that we took in there. I was looking to see, is there any other locations we could send these things? North. I don't have a lot of tags going north of here. Honestly. I don't ever remember seeing them go towards Birmingham. They may have from time to time. Seems like I've got some pictures of some coming out of Birmingham, so we could do Birmingham as well too. There we go. So the interesting thing about these cars, though, let's save this again. The interesting about all these cars is that, from what I can remember, even though we're just like 70 miles away from Atlanta, right? In Manchester, they all went to Waycross to be classified, and then they went to Atlanta. So they'd go 202 miles south, classified, and then 270 miles north to go to Atlanta. It's kind of weird how it worked out. I don't ever remember doing a northbound pickup. It's not to say it never happened, right? Never say never on the railroad, but I don't remember doing a northbound pickup. I only ever remember doing the southbound pickup because we put it on the south end of the yard, and then the southbound train would come through and grab it and then be on their way. Let's go back to Manchester really fast. Here we go. All right, so here's our power. We'll be running this in another video, the 720. Those cars are going to Georgia Pacific. We'll have to retag these real fast. Let's go ahead and grab them. Actually, you know what? We'll save this for the other video. So yeah, we would have a cut that we would set out down here to be picked up. But like I said, that's probably best for the next video as far as like actually working the local. So what we're going to do, we're going to go back to main menu real fast. We're going to reload this. And it should have saved everything. At least I hope so. Like I said, I don't do this a whole lot either, honestly. Like, just unless it's stuff that I feel like we need to kind of tweak or adjust or whatever. Yeah, there you go. There's our other track. So we're good to go as far as that. All right, let's finish setting this guy up for our local video that we're going to do. And we need to change some of these tags on here. So let's select the cut. Let's go to tagger. Right, so let's see, Tampa is going to be Tam. These are going to be Null. Right, I think it is Nolans. Yeah, there you go. Null, that's good. What was that? They could go on route somewhere too. I'm just not sure of any places off the top of my head that they could go to. Let's see, that's going to be Montgomery, Wildwood. Another Wildwood. These cars down here, we never did anything down here with box cars, so we're going to delete these. They look like they're actually supposed to be tanks, right? Yeah, I think they're tanks. I just don't have this pack. No, we never took tanks in here. We never did anything with tanks ever. It was only ever boxes, log cars, and chip hoppers. That was it. And usually, let's see, if I remember correctly, it was a place that you put the boxes inside the building. I don't think it wasn't a dock like this. I'm almost certain it was inside, and it was only a handful. It wasn't a lot. It wasn't a lot, but either way, everything looks good to go as far as tags, right? We got our chip hoppers tag. We got our outbound log cars tag. So yeah, I think we're good to go. Anyway, guys, I hope this helps you out. At least gives you a little bit of an idea of how you can kind of edit and configure your industries and change them up if you need to. This is by far the hardest part of the whole process to me. The whole process is just knowing how to operate your railroad, because most people don't know anything about it, right? I've got a little bit of a leg up on most everyone because I know how this stuff is routed and kind of where it went and how it worked and what it did. So if you come in here completely new, let's say you're a West Coast guy, let's say you live in California, you get the Fitzgerald sub and you come in here and you're like, I have no clue where these cars go. That might be a topic for a whole other video, how you could kind of do a basic simple thing, you know. But it does take a good bit of knowledge. It has the operation side of it, right? You know, you need to know the route. You need to know the offline locations, at least the next closest ones. It's a whole can of worms. Like I said, it's by far the biggest learning curve out of this game, is just knowing. I have so many people that leave comments like, how do I know where to send the cars? You know, and that's just something you kind of got to research and figure out on your own. Anyway, that'll do it for this one. Love all of you. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe if you enjoyed. And the next video, we'll actually see about working this local. Peace. No, big cat. No. Stop. Oh, no. No, kitty. Oh, that's